guys, what is up? Matt Johnson here and welcome to another episode of Beer and Watches. Today is Monday, so happy Monday. I hope you all had a great weekend. Now, I thought we'd do things a little bit differently today. Here on my YouTube channel, instead of reviewing a watch today or reviewing a beer, we're going to take a look at my Amazon wish list. In particular, I've got a whole bunch of watches here. Now, quite often I go through Amazon and I find watches that I like. I'm always up late at night searching watches, Swiss watches, Quartz watches, automatic watches. I find the watches that I like, and when I find them, the great thing about Amazon is you can click that add to wish list. I have my wish list here full of watches, but in particular, I have these Charles Hubert watches here. Charles Hubert Paris men's watches. Now, who is Charles Hubert? Well, Charles Hubert is nobody. That's right. He's absolutely nobody. He is a figment of the imagination that a watch company created to sell watches. It's one of those cool names that sounds really interesting and really gentlemanly. With my mustache here. Just sounds very, very cool, right? So, and plus you put on their Paris watches, you're going to think that Charles Hubert is sitting on a street in Paris at a cafe with a brioche espresso, and he's sat there with his cigarette and he's watching the world go by while wearing his Charles Hubert specifically designed watch. That's what it kind of conjures up, Charles Hubert Paris. But it's actually not true. Charles Hubert is actually, wait for it, a watch company based in Hong Kong. Yes, they are based in Hong Kong. They are not based in Paris. They have absolutely nothing to do with Paris, but it just sounds cool on the watch. I guess John Smith Hong Kong wouldn't sell as many watches as Charles Hubert in Paris. Go figure. That all being said, I came across Charles Hubert watches here on Amazon just by searching watches, searching cool Swiss watches. Yada, yada, yada. I came across these watches and I actually kind of like the look of them. Now, they've got mixed reviews. Charles Hubert is actually really well known, as a segue here, side point, for making pocket watches. That's what they're best known for, and they sell them throughout the world and certainly a lot in the US. But they also make wrist watches, men's and ladies' wrist watches, and that's what we're going to focus on today. Now, I came across these watches and this particular watch brand, let me see. Yeah, I came across them probably about 3-4 months ago, and I love the look of the watches, so I started adding them to my wish list like crazy. And so here you can see I've got a whole plethora of Charles Hubert watches. Now, these are a mixture of not only automatic and mechanical watches, but also quartz watches. I have to say that quartz watches and mechanical watches, I don't particularly have a preference. I mean, I really like automatic watches because, well, they just don't have a battery, and it's almost like they have a breathing heart inside the watch, which I just think is really, really, really cool, right? To get a watch that is breathing itself without a battery is just so cool. But I also like quartz watches as well. If I find a great quartz watch, I'm not going to not buy it just because it's not a mechanical watch. I've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Charles Hubert watches in my wish list. Now, I don't think we're going to go through all 14 today because that would mean that this video would be about 5 hours long, and let's face it, nobody's going to watch this video for 5 hours. Ooh, speaking of time, I am wearing today on my wrist Orient Bambino Generation 2, and if you haven't heard of Orient, or you haven't seen the Orient Bambino watch, I actually did do a review of it here on my channel, and you can check it out right. No, it's going to be that way, I think, or maybe that way. That way? Maybe the card will come up that way. Anyway, you can click on that link and check out my review of the Orient Bambino Generation 2 automatic watch. One of my favorite watches in my collection, cream dial, blue hands, just perfect. All that being said, let's move on to the watches. Now, the first watch I have here in my wish list is the Charles Hubert, we're going to move this out of the way, the Charles Hubert Paris Men's 3937 Premium Collection Stainless Steel Mechanical Watch. Now, it's only got one review, but it is 5 stars, and it comes in at $325 Canadian plus $40 shipping. That is insane. $40. I've bought watches that are amazing for $40. Where do they get off charging me $40 for shipping? Personally, I don't think I would spend $325 on this watch. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a nice looking watch, but you know what? I could buy a lot more watch for $325 of a watch brand that I do trust, like Orient or Seiko, you know, watches like that. So, or Tissot. So I don't know I'd spend this much money, but let's take a look at what you get. First of all, here's the watch. Now, it's a very, very cool looking watch. It's got a dual balance wheel here at the 6 o'clock position. Now, I own an Igard Mayan V2 limited edition watch. Now, if you haven't seen that watch, you can also check out the link to it right, Igard Mayan version 2 here on my channel, and that link will take you there. Don't go there now. I'll put a link in the description below to the Igard Mayan, also to the Orient Bambino, and also to all of the watches that I'm going to show you here today on my Amazon wish list. I'll put links in the description below to those watches too, so that you can go ahead and check them out and maybe order one for yourself. Who knows? It's got an onion crown, and I mean, that is an onion crown for days. That crown is so onion that I'm probably gonna start crying in this video. It's also got this serrated bezel. I doubt that it's a rotating bezel, but it looks very cool. I like the finishing. It's got Roman numerals at the 12, 3, and 9 o'clock positions. It's got the outer ring of minute and second hands. It's got an HMS dial, hour, minute, and second hand there. Oh, we get a little close up. Blue screws, purple jewels in there, mechanical movement at the 6 o'clock position. And actually, if you take a look at the background there, it looks like a multi-layered dial. And in the brown there, you can see it's kind of got the H logo for Hubert repeated, which I kind of think's a cool feature, actually. So there it is. It's a very, very cool watch. It looks like it's on a leather strap. There it is on the wrist. Good size. They say here it's a 44mm stainless steel case. And actually, if we take a little close-up here, we can take a look at the watch revolving on the little turntable here, and there you can see it's got an exhibition case back, so you can see the movement inside, which I always love to see. Not a lot going on in the exhibition case back. It's got some perlage, kind of, you know what, let's pause it there. It's got some perlage on here, which is kind of cool, some blue screws, but I don't see a lot going on. But it's also got the serrated edge on the reverse bezel as well, which is kind of cool. See-through case back, yeah, tang buckle, doesn't look like it's stamped, but it looks like it's got a genuine leather strap. So I kind of like the look of that. Now, what does it tell us about the watch? Well, it's an automatic movement, and basically that means, as I've told you before, that this little half moon disc here is what's called a rotor. So if you get a mechanical watch, it doesn't have that rotor in there, and you have to wind it every day. But a automatic watch has that little half moon disc, and what that does is, with the movement of your wrist, this little half moon disc swings backwards and forwards, kind of like the pendulum in a clock, and that actually winds the movement in the watch when you're wearing it. So very, very cool. I like the look of it. Now, it says here that it's 44mm stainless steel case, lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects, which is incredible. Whether or not you can get them to put that warranty into effect, well, that remains to be seen. Water resistant up to 30 meters, 99 feet. So just so we're clear here, water resistance means that it can stand the atmospheric pressure that the watch would stand if it were, that the watch would be subject to if it were 30 meters underwater. It does not mean that you can take the watch to a depth of 30 meters. That is something that people get confused about with water resistance readings on watches. So a 30 meter water resistance watch basically is good for getting a bit of water on there, splashing, but I wouldn't take it in the shower or anything like that. As you can see, if we take a look at the face of the watch here, this is a screwed, sorry, it's not a screw down crown. This is a push-pull crown. And essentially what that means is you pull it out to set it and push it in to set it back? No, push it in to lock in the settings. Anyway, that's how a push-pull crown works, whereas a screw-in crown basically means you screw it out, it's got a seal in there, and then it unlocks, then you can set the watch, and then you screw it back in, and it seals back up, which a screw-down crown is what you're going to have if you're taking the watch underwater. So anyway, there you go. Let's take a look down here at some more of the specs on this watch. It was a 2014 model. It's got a round case, well, that we can see for sure. It's got a mineral crystal. Now, you get a mineral crystal, a sapphire crystal, or a hardlex or plastic crystal. Now, hardlex plastic is good because if you get a scratch, you can kind of buff it out. A sapphire crystal is very, very resistant to scratches. A mineral crystal will scratch. So you've got to be aware of that. If you catch this on a wall or a table or something like that, you could put a scratch in the crystal. So essentially it's a mineral glass, but not a sapphire glass. Okay, so mineral is not as good as sapphire. So if you see a watch and it says sapphire crystal on it, you're already on to a winner. It's got a case diameter of 44 millimeters, case thickness of 15 millimeters, which is huge for a watch. So that's going to wear really big on your wrist. Actually, it's probably going to feel like an Invicta watch, which is a watch brand that is known for being big and chunky. It's got a leather strap, which is great. A 22 millimeter band width. It is about 386 grams, so it's not a light watch. So there it is. That's the first Charles Hubert that I kind of added to my wish list here on Amazon. And actually, that is the first Charles Hubert that got me thinking, hey, what are these Charles Hubert watches? I kind of like them. They're unusual. Now, what I do like about Charles Hubert watches, and if you take a look here, you'll see this. What I do like about these is take a look at these watches. They're all Charles Hubert, but they have very, very different styles, which I think is really cool. Oh, we're going completely the wrong way here. And we're back into it. Look at these watches. They have different styles. Here's an elongated dual time watch. Here's a panda face. Not necessarily all the same shape, round, you know, with the hour, minute, and second hands. I don't always want that. Anyway, moving on. That was $325. Here's one that's $112 Canadian, which I'm thinking is about $90 US, probably about £75. Now, that is certainly a lot more affordable. It's got 3 5-star reviews. This is a quartz watch and not an automatic watch. Now, generally, just so you know, if you're looking for a watch, you are going to find that quartz watches are cheaper than automatic or mechanical watches. That's generally how it goes in the watch industry. Now, a quartz watch is simply a battery-operated watch. So it runs the mechanism through a quartz crystal, and it's got a battery in there as opposed to a mechanical movement. Now, quartz watches are great because quartz watches, generally the battery can last for 3-4 years before you have to replace it. So that's certainly really, really cool. Also, they don't lose and gain seconds per day as much as a mechanical or automatic watch. This kind of reminds me of the look of some of the TW Steel Grandeur Tech watches. I own one of those. I don't know if I've reviewed it here on my channel yet, actually. I don't think I have, so that's going to be coming soon. It's got a chronograph dial, date complication here, hour, minute, and second hands. The second hand is in this nice kind of yellow gold, which I like. It's got the Charles Hubert logo up there at 12 o'clock position. It's got a flat center dial, and then the outer finish in here is kind of like a what would you call that? I don't know, kind of like a cushion engraved finish, I guess. The hour markers are in silver. It looks like they're applied, which means they're applied to the watch face after it's been printed, so that's cool. And it's got an outer ring of seconds. It's got some finishing screws here around the bezel, which has got that kind of diamond cut finish. You've then got 3 crowns on the right hand side with a gold diamond cut finish and polished stainless steel, which are very, very cool. They kind of match the hands inside the watch, and those will be to set the chronograph. Now, if we take a look here, you can see the size of it on the wrist. It's certainly a good size. There's the packaging, which the Charles Hubert watches come in. I kind of like the packaging. It's very simple, no nonsense, but it's got a kind of a nice, I wouldn't say premium, but a nice quality look to it. And then here is the watch itself. We'll do a little close-up on the rotation of the watch. There you can see it. It comes on a rubber neoprene strap. It's got 2 keepers on there. It's got a signed tang buckle and an engraved stainless steel polished case back. I actually think that is a really nice looking watch, especially considering that it's only $112 Canadian. So what do they say about it here? Well, it's stainless steel case with sporty polyurethane band. It's rubber. Chronograph watch, Japanese quartz movement, 44mm case diameter. It's got a water resistance of 165 feet, which is a little more than the last one we looked at. So you may get away with this in the shower or doing a bit of light swimming. Again, it's got a mineral face, not a sapphire. It's 12.5mm thick, which is actually not too bad. The other one was 15, so that was a huge watch, but this one, 12.5mm thick, will wear not too bad on the wrist. What else do we have down here? Black band color, white dial. I would have said that's a silver dial, but anyway, maybe it's white against the silver. That could actually look really sporty and really nice. Stainless steel, stationary bezel, so it doesn't rotate. It's got a date, 165 feet, Japanese quartz movement. Great little watch. I like it a lot. It's in my wish list, and I certainly think that's one that I might order. Now, next here, we have this one. This is a very interesting looking watch, and I added it because I love the look of the watch face on this. It's something a little bit different. Now this one comes in at $238 Canadian, so I would say that's going to be about 195 US or 160 pounds maybe, give or take. Now this is interesting because this is a dual time display. Now I've done reviews of dual time watches before. In fact, I own a Tissot Heritage dual time watch that I absolutely love. It's a quartz watch, Swiss made, came in at like $160. If you haven't seen it yet, you can check out the video right here of that watch. It's very, very cool. It's got a rectangular case to it, and I like it so much. But what I love about dual time watches, for me personally, is that I travel the world. So I can have one of the times, one of the clocks on here set to my home time here in Canada, and then I can have the other clock here set to whatever country I'm in at that given time. Now, when I'm at home here in Canada, I will set one of the clocks to my home in Canada and the other one to UK time, because that's where I'm born and raised, in case you couldn't tell from the accent. And that's also where all my family, my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sisters, my aunts and uncles, they all still live in the UK. Now, you'll notice, because it's a dual time watch, it will need two crowns. So there is a crown here on the right-hand side, and a crown on the left-hand side. This one is going to set this clock, and this one is going to set this one. Very, very cool. These kind of watches, when you're wearing them on the wrist, certainly get a lot of attention, and people kind of will ask you, why has it got two watch faces? Why has it got two crowns? That's an unusual looking watch. Let's be honest, we all buy watches for ourselves, and we buy them because we love them. But it's also a really, really cool feeling when somebody you don't know asks you about your watch. Really cool talking point. It's like somebody asking you about your clothes, or saying those are the coolest shoes, or that's a really cool hat. It's also the same feeling with a watch, and trust me, when you're out there and you get asked about your watch, it's going to make you feel good, and you're going to get to explain all the features and all the designs about that watch. Plus, if you have a watch that looks really cool and expensive, you can either lie and tell them, well, it cost me a fortune, or what's even cooler is you can say, this watch on my wrist only cost me $238 Canadian. People are going to go, wow, that's amazing. You got all that watch for that much money? That's crazy. And then maybe they're going to go out and buy the same watch, and you just started another watch collector. So how cool is that? So here it is. Again, this is the Charles Hubert Paris Men's 3966 RG. It's from the premium collection. Now this one is a mechanical hand wind watch, which is very cool, and it's got some very cool features. So no battery in this. You are going to wind this. It's not an automatic watch, which means that it won't wind itself. So you will probably have to wind this on a daily basis. Oh, sorry, mechanical and quartz movement. So the one on the right here is obviously the mechanical movement, and the one on the left is a quartz movement. So it's going to have a battery in there as well. So very, very cool. To get both movements in one watch is kind of a little bit rare. That's very cool. It's got a case diameter of 46mm, so this one is going to wear quite big on the wrist, as you can see, and it's water resistant to 99 feet. So again, those crowns are not screw down, they are push pull, which means this is going to be good for a bit of water splashing, but not the shower, not swimming, not diving, or anything like that. Comes in the Charles Hubert case, pretty standard, but I want you to see the back of this. I'm going to play this little video here of the watch. Take a look as it goes round, because this is cool. You can see a little peekaboo window on the back on the left there. How cool is that? I'm just going to pause that right there. Not the best shot, but you can still see the movement. So on the right here, it's got, this is where the battery is going to be for the quartz side of the watch, but on the left here is where you can see the mechanical movement on the mechanical side of the watch, and you can see all the cogs and gears turning. You can see the pink jewels, you can see the blue screws there. Very, very cool. Tang buckle, no signing on that, but it does have a nice brown leather strap, a stainless steel case back signed with the Charles Hubert logo, and again a mineral crystal glass exhibition case back there, peekaboo case back, so a little bit smaller. So I really like the look of that. I think that's a very, very cool watch, going to get you a lot of attention and a great little talking point. Now let's take a little look down here at some of the specs on that. It's a 2014 model, again 46 millimeters diameter, only 11 millimeters thick on this one, which is quite thin actually. That's going to wear really nicely on the wrist. It's got a leather strap, 20 millimeter bandwidth, a stainless steel case, and comes in at 386 grams. Again, the mechanical side is a mechanical hand wind, and it looks like it's got kind of a gold or bronze finish, kind of a PVD gold or bronze on top of the stainless steel. So there it is. That's the Charles Hubert 3966 RG Premium Collection watch, coming in at $238 Canadian. Real bargain. I like that one a lot. Woo! This is a huge video. We're already at like 25 minutes. I don't even know, and I have so many watches here to show you. I don't know if I should stop right now or if I should just keep going. You know what? Let's just keep going, because here's the thing, right? Even if this is like a 40-50 minute video on YouTube, which is insane, at least you can kind of skip through, look at the watches, you know, see the different watches that you like. Hey, who cares, right? I'm having fun, so let's just have fun with this. This is certainly a different way for me to do videos, but I'm kind of having fun with it, so let's carry on. So the next one here is a Charles Hubert Paris Men's 3729 from the Premium Collection again, stainless steel chronograph watch. Now, this one comes in at $136 Canadian, which is going to be around 110 US, or about 85 Great British pounds. It is a stainless steel case. It's a polyurethane watch band. Now, I gotta say, look, there's metal, there's NATO straps, there's leather straps, there's also polyurethane, rubber, plastic, whatever you want to call it. I actually find the rubber straps a lot more comfortable. I really enjoy them. I tend to, when I'm active doing sports and things, you know, you sweat a bit from your wrists. I tend to find that sweat can get into the leather straps a little bit and kind of change the smell of the leather strap over time, which is why genuinely you're going to wear leather straps for a dress watch and dress occasions, not for doing sporty things. But a rubber strap, usually if you get a good rubber strap that's nice and soft, it's going to fit really well, it's going to be really comfortable, very sporty. But as you can see from this, it also is kind of a nice dress watch as well. So it's kind of a multi-purpose when you've got a rubber strap on there. You can always change it out. I mean, this watch certainly would do very well if you took that rubber strap off and put a metal strap on there or a leather strap. It would completely change the look of the watch. So again, you could spend $136 on this watch, but then by spending $10, $15, $20 on a strap, you could completely change the look of the watch to a brand new watch for a different occasion if you want to dress it up or dress it down. You certainly don't have to buy a whole new watch, just change the strap. Now this one here, I actually really like. It's got a square face on there, case, which is kind of cool. It's stainless steel. It's a Japanese quartz movement in this, lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects. If we take a look at the face, you can see that it is good to 3 ATMs, which is 30 meters or about 100 feet. Again, just for water splashing, not for swimming, diving, or getting in the shower. It's got a printed face, but it looks like it has applied hour markers. 12 o'clock there at the 12 o'clock position. Japanese movement, 3 chronograph subdials, hour, minute, and second hands. Charles Hubert logo there at the 12 o'clock position. This one wears very nicely on the wrist, not too big, comes with the Charles Hubert box. Now, if we take a look at the back here, what I like about this is it's got, instead of having a tang buckle, this has got a push-button butterfly deployant clasp. Now, the way that this works is you can see that the clasp there opens up like the wings of a butterfly, which is why it's called a butterfly clasp. You learned something today. And basically you bring those two ends of the strap together and it clicks in place. And then to deploy or to open it, again, it's deployant, not deployment. You click on the buttons and the thing will open. Now I tell you this, deployant and not deployment, because there's an argument. Is it a deployment clasp or a deployant clasp? It is actually a deployant clasp. I did a video of all kinds of clasps here on my channel. And if you want to check that out, you can click on this video bar right here. It'll take you to the video of all the different types of watch clasps. Very, very cool. I always like seeing a different fun kind of clasp, and if you've never used a butterfly clasp, you will have fun with this. Let's just take a look, look at it turning around on the turntable there. It's got kind of a brushed finish on the stainless steel. It's got a polished case back which is stamped. You can see the deployant clasp closed here, stamped with the Charles Hubert logo, and then it's got the push buttons for the chronograph and the push-pull crown to set the time. Kind of a cool, modern, interesting looking watch. If we take a look at some of the specs, again, this is a model 2014. It appears that all the Charles Hubert watches were made in 2014. I hope they're still making watches. Actually, there is a Charles Hubert website, by the way, and I'll put a link in that to the description below. You can get Charles Hubert watches on Amazon and all over the place, but if you want to go direct to the Charles Hubert website and check out their brand new watches, you certainly can, and I'll put, again, the link in the description below. It's a 39mm case diameter on this, so a little bit smaller, which is quite nice. It'll look good. Actually, this would be a good unisex watch. It's got a date complication right here between the 4 and the 5 o'clock position. Always nice to see a date on a watch. Japanese quartz and 99 meters of water resistance. All that coming in for $136 Canadian with free delivery. I think that's a bargain, and I'll put a link in the description below. Now, going back to my wish list, we are cracking through it here. The next one on my list, actually, there's one there, a Charles Hubert quartz watch, but I'm not going to take a look at that one. Again, if you go on Google, if you go on Amazon and type Charles Hubert watches, you are going to get a plethora of watches, and you can look through these yourself. I want to take a look at this one because this is a little bit unusual. This one, as you can see, has a hexagonal watch face, which I've certainly not seen a lot. You generally see round or square or rectangular, but this one is very unusual, very different. This is a Japanese quartz watch on a brown leather strap. Again, it's from the premium collection. The case diameter is 43mm, so it's a pretty good size. Slightly domed crystal on the top there, so it's not perfectly flat. Slight dome to the crystal. And let's take a little bit of a closer look. It's got an onion crown, which, again, onion for days on that one. I actually like the look of these onion crowns. I just think there's something classy and ornate looking about that. Very, very cool. And also you can see it's sloped and beveled as it goes in towards the watch, so you're going to be able to get a really good a grasp of that crown, which is important. And a big crown means you're going to be able to hold it and turn and set the time really well. A lot of watches come with a crown that's too small, and I find that I struggle a little bit when trying to set the time. It says Japanese movement down there at 6 o'clock position. Now, it's hour, minute, and seconds, but this is a cool feature on this watch. It's got an hour and minute hand, but then the second hand is a sub-dial at the 6 o'clock position. Now, it's got applied black markers, and then the watch face itself has got kind of this concentric circles. Concentric, I think that's the right word, kind of engraved design to the watch face. I really like that. I think it's cool. Is this hexagonal watch case for everybody? No, probably not. But let's face it, it's unusual and it's something a little bit different. For me, I personally like that in my watch collecting. I like watches that look different. We can kind of see it on the wrist there. It's got a good size on the wrist. It's got a tang buckle, 43mm case diameter, 11mm thick, so it's not going to sit too high on the wrist. It's got a rose gold finish to it, is what they say, but I don't see that. That looks stainless steel to me. I don't know where they mean rose gold. What's going on? But anyway, it's got, oh, they're saying the dial. So the dial here, the concentric circles, is a rose gold with a stainless steel case. Probably a nice little kind of combination there. Cool watch and worth taking a look. Now, let's go back here to my wish list. We've gone through a few of these. Now, you know what? I've got a few more on here. I've got one here with kind of a panda dial, a sideways panda dial. I've got one here, mechanical watch. We've got a couple, quite a few actually, but I'm not going to go through all these. We're just going to go through two more quickly because after all, this video is huge. And if you are still here, boy, you need a medal. Anyway, let's take a look at two more watches here. I particularly like this one. Take a look at this. See what you think of this. This is a Charles Hubert. This is Paris Men's 3743W from the premium collection, stainless steel, again, dual time. Got kind of a retro kind of Jetsons TV show kind of feel about it. Modern, retro, futuristic. You've got one watch face on the right there and one watch face on the left. It's got hour and minute, and the second hand is this kind of rotating subdial inside the watch face there. Charles Hubert Paris logo at the top. It's got a crown on the right and a crown on the left for setting those two clocks. It's a stainless steel case. Now, is it polished? Well, I think it's got more of kind of a brush finish to it. What does it say down here about it? Tang buckle, stainless steel, 12 millimeters thick, 44 millimeter case diameter, 26 millimeter bandwidth. Wow, that's huge. It's got a white face, Japanese quartz, 99 meters of water resistance. So again, this watch is going to be good for a few splashes, but nothing else. Let's take a look at the watch on the rotating table here. Rotating away, very cool looking watch, genuine leather strap. It's got a polished case back, stamps Charles Hubert. Logos, no stamping on the Tang buckle. I like it a lot, and that is a big watch strap at 26 millimeters. In fact, if we take a look at the wrist shot, you can see it there, certainly a good size. But I like it. I think that's a really cool looking watch. Now, the price is not coming up there, so if we click on the see all buying options over here to the right, it'll probably tell us $150 Canadian. It is going to be subject to shipping. Unusual watch, great talking point, dual time. I like that watch a lot. Now we're going to take a look at one more Charles Hubert here. As I say, I've got a lot in my wish box. I actually haven't ordered a Charles Hubert watch yet. I probably will at some point order one. Now this last one here comes in at $368 Canadian. So that's going to be about 330 US or probably about 300 Great British pounds. Again, I don't know if I spend this much on a watch company that I don't really know. I'd much prefer to spend it on a Seiko or an Orient or a Citizen or a Tissot or something like that. But let's take a look. This is kind of a cool looking watch. It's a stainless steel case, polished stainless steel. It's got a skeleton dial, 17 joule automatic movement. So this one doesn't have a battery, and this one is going to recharge itself from the movement of your wrist. Let's take a look at the specs before we take a look at the watch. It's a round case, mineral crystal. Again, not sapphire. I'm not sure why Charles Hubert doesn't use sapphire crystal, but I'm guessing to keep the price down. But it would have been nice as a little nice addition for them to add. But anyway, nevertheless, 49 millimeter case. So this is the biggest so far in today's review video. It is a monster. It's 15 millimeters thick. So again, that's a good chunky watch on the wrist. 22 millimeter bandwidth. Dial color is gold, 2014 model, and it's a push-pull crown with mechanical hand winding. This is going to get noticed on the wrist. Gold filigree work there to the movement. It's got blue hour and minute hands. Looks like a second-hand subdial over here at the 9 o'clock position. It's got an onion crown, which again, onion for days. Gonna be crying on this one. Scene. I was acting. Push-pull crown, so no water resistance on that. You can see a nice little feature here of the spindle of the push-pull crown going into the watch. You can see all the cogs and workings. Blue hands. It's got pink jewels in there, which these are going to be acrylic jewels. The jewels are there to stop the mechanical working of the movement rubbing against itself and causing friction and damaging the movement. That's why they put synthetic jewels in there. Now we can see it on wrist here. It's certainly a big watch, good size. It's got more of a pocket watch kind of look size to it. And then we've got a nice video here, so let's take an all-round look at the watch. Now I'm just going to stop it there. We've got some signing on the side of the watch case here, Charles Hubert Paris, and lugs are pretty flat. Looks like it's got a slightly domed crystal on there, a flat crystal on the exhibition case back. You can see it's got a genuine leather strap with a Tang buckle. As we move around the watch here, we get a nice look at the exhibition case back. Now, one thing, we're going to stop it right here. You can kind of see that it has got a sign tang buckle, and inside the case back here, beautiful to see. There's just something so pretty about it, so breathtaking, just so cool to watch the movement working inside without a battery. It's kind of like a beating heart. It's so impressive. You can see we've got the blue screws in there, the pink synthetic jewels, we've got silver and gold cogs and workings. Again, it comes in at a higher price point, which I don't know if I want to pay for a watch that I don't really know the brand. There again, we get a look at the onion crown, the filigree work in the gold there on the watch. It is certainly a handsome looking watch for sure, and yeah, I like it. And so if we move out here and just take a close-up of the actual watch again, you'll notice the Charles Hubert Paris logo is at the 12 o'clock position, but you can see that this is actually printed on the glass, which is not everybody's favorite. It's kind of in the way of the hands a little bit. You know, it's not going to be the easiest watch to read, but you're not buying this because it's the easiest watch to read. You're buying it because it's pretty, and it's going to get noticed on your wrist. $368 Canadian. Will I order it for the channel? I don't know, maybe. But certainly a watch there to look out for. And it's got 8 5 to 4-star ratings, and a lot of people seem to really, really like it, which is a really good sign. So there you go, guys. That is my look at my watch wish list. I've got more watches in there, not just Charles Hubert, but for today we focused on the watch brand Charles Hubert Paris men's watch, which is actually made in Hong Kong. So there you go. Thanks so much, guys. I sincerely hope you enjoyed today's video. Happy Monday. This was a little bit different, but hey, let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy a longer video? Did you enjoy this look at Charles Hubert watches? Have you heard of Charles Hubert watches? And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to leave me a big thumbs up and a comment in the comment section below. I love hearing from you guys. And finally, if you haven't seen it yet, click on this video right here and also click on the watch logo right there to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you Wednesday. Bye for now.